This is one of the rarest passenger aircraft still flying on planet Earth. Today, I'm about to fly it over the open Pacific Ocean during a tropical monsoon, where I'll land yesterday, just as soon as they get the engine started. Welcome to Western Samoa, a tiny island out here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. When you think of Samoa, you usually think of tropical beaches and palm trees, and usually it is like that. But today, well, we're right in the middle of a tropical monsoon. And to make matters worse, I'm about to head to the airport to get on a tiny propeller plane that's going to take me miles out into that lot. What could possibly go wrong? Well, let's head to the airport and find out. The shuttle to the airport was exactly what you'd hope for in Samoa. Reggae on the radio and a dancing ornament on the dashboard that I won't describe in too much detail. After a few minutes though, I'd made it to the airport. This is Apia International Airport. From here you can fly all around the Pacific, Hawaii, Fiji with Fiji Airways, or you can even fly to New Zealand. You won't find any of those at this terminal because this is the regional departures terminal. This is where Talofa Airways go from. They operate a fleet of tiny little planes, actually planes that you won't find flying anywhere else in the world commercially. And not only that, but these planes are pretty special because they're going to take me back in time. See, today, right now, it's 10:30 on Monday morning. Nobody likes Monday mornings, least of all me. So why not go back in time to Sunday? Yeah, that's right. The flight that I'm doing today is going to take off and in 30 minutes will land me yesterday on Sunday. So we can have 2 Sundays. Who doesn't want 2 Sundays in the week? Let's go and get checked in for a little ride to American Samoa. This then is the Rockwell Turbo Commander. Talofa Airways are the last airline on Earth that still fly them, all 3 of them. The piston version of this plane has one of the worst safety records in aviation history, but this is the turboprop variant, which is apparently a bit safer. Talofa did once crash one though when the landing gear collapsed, but everyone was fine. I'm sure it's okay. For now though, it was time for me to go and get checked in.
No worries.
Thank you. Thanks. The boarding passes are some of the simplest I've ever seen. It's just a handwritten bit of paper with your first name and where you're going written on it. Considering Talofa only fly to one place anyway, then half of that seems pretty redundant really. Alrighty then, all checked in for me flight to Pango in American Samoa. It's a place I've wanted to go for so very long. It was the start line for an amazing piece of aviation history. In December 1978, a retired US Navy pilot named Jay Prochnow took off from Pango in a tiny single-engine Cessna heading for Norfolk Island, alone over the open Pacific. Somewhere over the ocean, his navigation equipment failed. He'd got no idea where he was. He declared an emergency and there was almost nobody out there to help. Almost. You see, a single Air New Zealand DC-10 Flight 103 was passing nearby with 88 passengers on board. Its captain Gordon Vett made the decision that they were going to try and find this guy. What followed was one of the most remarkable pieces of airmanship ever recorded, using nothing but the angle of the setting sun, radio signals and fuel dumps to create vapor trails, and eventually the lights of an oil rig being towed across the Pacific. Vett's crew located Prochnow after hours of searching and guided him safely to Norfolk Island. Prochnow had been in the air for over 23 hours. There is one more detail worth mentioning though. Gordon Brooks, the flight engineer who helped save Prochnow that night, was sadly killed less than a year later when another Air New Zealand DC-10 flew into Mount Erebus in Antarctica. Aviation history is rarely just one story. And now it was time to start my own Pango story as we were called through to board my flight into the past.
Oh, sorry, I ripped. Alright, okay, thank you.
And there she was, my ride to Pango, a Rockwell Turbo Commander delivered new in 1979, the same year Gordon Brooks died on Mount Erebus, and less than a year after Jay Prochnow nearly didn't make it home. This aircraft's been flying since before most of its passengers were born, and today it was going to fly me across the international date line. Inside the Rockwell Commander is every bit as vintage as it looks from the outside. 6 seats, no frills, no in-flight entertainment, and no safety demo that I could identify. Just me, a handful of other passengers, a pilot, and somewhere out there, the Pacific Ocean. The engines were about to start. What could possibly go wrong? Right. And then the words that nobody wants to hear from their pilot.
I'm just going to make a quick phone call. Jeff, just attempted to start the right engine on LOR and huge bang. Yeah, no, straight up. I did, because there was a wee bit of there was that vibrations down with it. So I'm just going to start the left one first and then I'll do the right one again. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it still does it though after you do spin, just depends. But yeah, it's been 2 minutes anyway, so there we go. Cool. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, we'll have it into it again and just get silly to stop spinning the engine. So we're good to go. You sure? Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
And with that ringing endorsement, we were off.
Right, take two.
So with the engines finally started and me feeling not at all nervous about the flight, it was time to take off and take a journey back in time to Sunday. Alrighty then, we are airborne from Aviation. Not gonna lie, slightly more nervous now than I was earlier on today. Not least because we're about to go across the ocean in the middle of a tropical monsoon in a plane that they struggle to get the engines going. I'm sure it'll be alright. We are leaving the coastline of Western Samoa behind now, and this is it. We're about to go back in time 24 hours to Sunday once again. If we make it that far, I have every confidence, I think. Meanwhile, up here in a 45-year-old turboprop with a history of exciting engine starts, I was just quietly hoping that we'd make it at all. But before too long, there it was. Monday became Sunday once again, right there on the screen, just another line on a map, except this one bends time. Alright, it is officially yesterday. We have just crossed the international date line. That's it out there. I don't know whether you can see the line right out there and the ocean. I can't see it either. But it coincides with the aircraft starting to make some really strange, unique noises. The pilot seems slightly concerned. He's moving stuff around and twiddling with things, looking quite worried about where this rattling's suddenly coming from. As am I. The rattling continued. I was actually getting genuinely worried at this point. But then, mercifully, the island of American Samoa started to appear out of the clouds. But the rattling got even worse. I tried to figure out where it was coming from, but the runway was in sight. In just a few minutes, we'd be on the ground. But that few minutes seemed to last forever. And then we made it. The rattling, as it turned out, was probably a loose ceiling panel. Nevertheless, after a dodgy engine start, a concerned pilot, a rattling fuselage, and 30 of the longest minutes of my life, I'd finally made it to American Samoa. Immigration into American Samoa is pretty straightforward, but even though it's part of the States, even American citizens and green card holders need to apply for an online document before they arrive.
Good job I checked. I didn't realise I needed that, so I had to quickly.
Of course, I can do yours.
I got it. When you're good with that, yeah? No problem. Oh, I don't. I'm visiting. I just have one night here. Yes.
I'm waiting for my husband and my daughter.
Oh wow, okay.
They fly at 1 o'clock.
Oh, they fly later. Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting over there.
Alrighty then, welcome to Pango, or just Pango as the locals call it, here in American Samoa, and welcome to yesterday. It's Sunday again, yay! This is Pango International Airport. home of flights to Samoa and Hawaii. And of course, this is the place where that plane set off from all those years ago on its way across to Australia. I'm going to go and try and find a taxi and we'll see if we can get to my hotel to get around here. And also, my question is, do they take American dollars? Because we officially are in the US now.
As it turned out, they did take American dollars here because we're technically in America, but regardless of whether they took American dollars or not, it wasn't something that I'd have to worry about too much on this trip because, like all my trips, I've been using Revolut. You see, after 10 days I'd transited through multiple countries, Australia, Nauru, Fiji and now Samoa as well. Very different stops, multiple currencies and limited infrastructure in a lot of these places as well. When you travel to destinations that don't see many visitors, you can't always rely on card acceptance everywhere, and you certainly don't want surprise international fees stacking up along the way. Now, as many of you know, I'm constantly moving between countries and I've been using Revolut on all my international trips lately because it simplifies that part of travel. During the week there's no foreign transaction fees and on weekends they're minimal, which makes everyday purchases, whether that's airport coffee in Brisbane, a small shop in Nauru or a meal stop in Fiji, much easier to manage. In more remote destinations especially, cash can still be important. When I need it I use ATMs where they're available, which helps avoid layering any unnecessary fees on top of everything else. And instead of exchanging money at airports or relying on border kiosks, I can exchange currency directly in the app before I even land. And what I appreciate most is the visibility. I can see what I've spent across the entire journey, flights, food, local expenses, all in one place. On a multi-stop trip like this, that clarity makes a real difference. Revolut's supporting this episode, and if you're planning international travel, you can scan the QR code on the screen now or use the link in the description. New users can get a $20 bonus too. Anyway, there's a taxi here at the airport waiting with my name on it.
Take me to the Tradewinds Hotel, please. Tradewinds, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. They said there was a monsoon, and this is not monsoon.
Yeah, that's right.
Pango is one of those places that takes a moment to process. You're on a tiny island in the middle of the South Pacific, and yet everywhere you look, it's unmistakably American. Pickup trucks, military installations, dollar stores. It's like someone picked up a small American town and dropped it into the middle of the Pacific.
Alrighty then, welcome to the Tradewinds Hotel in Pango. This is my room. It's pretty cool. Look, we've got a suite. We've got a bedroom in there, living room down there. Look at that out there, that beautiful scenery out there. We've got the pool outside my room, little balcony. This is what we like. This is exactly what we like, a nice little room. Alrighty then, let's go for a little wander around the town of Pango. Let's see if we can find somewhere to eat. It is a Sunday. I may be wishing that it wasn't Sunday and we were actually, in fact, still on Monday. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, now I can tell I'm in America. We've got a recruiting station there for the US Navy, the US Army, the Marines. There's a TSA office there as well. Yeah, we're definitely in America. Feels a bit like Hawaii, a bit like the smaller version of Hawaii, if you know what I mean. It's like more rurally version, kind of like Hawaii crossed with Nauru. So the only problem with me having gone back in time to Sunday is that it turns out in American Samoa everything's shut on a Sunday. There's a McDonald's. I was really hoping to go to an American Samoan McDonald's. Shut because it's Sunday. Supermarkets shut because it's Sunday. I'm not sure whether I'm regretting going back in time to Sunday or not now. Dare I say it, I wish it was Monday and everything was open. Okay, I found a supermarket that looks like it's open. It's called Cost You Less. Let's go and check it out, see if it actually does cost you less.
As it turned out, it did not, in fact, cost less.
Jeez, $25 for a bag of M&Ms. Maybe not. Right, no alcohol beer now. Do they do such a thing out here? I mean, I got Bud Light. That's practically alcohol free, isn't it? Okay, so that was cost you less. It was actually costing me quite a bit more. But we are on island prices, and they don't do carrier bags. I've got to carry this bloody box full of food back to my hotel. It's about a mile walk. Yeah, they don't do plastic carrier bags here. Ooh, 2 Dodge Rams. Oh, nice. But no plastic carrier bags. I like it.
The plane taking off overhead was a reminder that tomorrow morning I'd be doing this all over again, but for now, the Equator Bar, a cheeseburger, and the strange novelty of having 2 Sundays in 1 week. It's Monday again. So once again, woken up on Monday morning. But today, I'm going to say goodbye to Monday once again because I'm going to skip forward a day now because I'm about to head back to the airport, and in a couple of hours' time, well, it'll be Tuesday. We'll have missed most of Monday completely. Outside, the weather was rolling in again. Dark clouds, windy palm trees, another monsoon building up over the Pacific. The Rockwell commander was waiting at the airport, and somewhere Jeff was probably already on standby. Hi.
Chicken?
Checking in, please, yes.
Okay, chicken on this side.
On this side, alright,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'll be with you in a minute.
No worries.
We have our next flight, 10:45, and
Yeah, I can get there, yeah.
Sure.
Give me more time, if that's okay. Give me more time to get through at Appian.
right.
I think I have to get between the terminals.
Okay, Noel, on the scale, please, with your
Yeah.
carry-on.
Thank you. I'll look the other way.
No worries. Blame it on the bag.
Yeah, that's it. It's very heavy, very heavy.
Yeah.
Like 150 pounds, yeah.
Okay, seems like just you on a flight.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yep, you on a pilot.
Nice, even better. Private jet, thank you.
If people show up early, then you'll be
Even
board
earlier. Yeah.
Okay, you're done here.
Amazing.
So straight up to immigration to get your passport with them.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, have a good day. And we are all checked in for Talofa Airways. They've actually put me on an earlier flight because there's an empty plane going back, so they've put me on that one instead because it's empty when they can. So welcome to Samoa. You just get on whichever plane is free when you get there. Pretty cool. Departures at Pango Pango Airport's best described as al fresco, a covered area open to the warm Pacific air where you simply sit and wait until somebody tells you that the plane's ready. There's no gate, no boarding announcement, no duty free, just you, a plastic chair, and the sound of the ocean somewhere in the distance. TSA was closed today, so we just walked on through. The departure gate had a small shop, which all things considered was more than I expected for this airport. Outside, my plane was waiting, the same plane as yesterday, the same engines, same ceiling panels. I was just quietly hoping that Jeff had had a productive evening. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
We're at the last seat though.
Okay, hi, how are you?
Yeah, good thanks. What's your back on?
Thank you. Today they had me sitting right at the back of the plane, which was nice because I got the full 3 seats to myself, but it was a little bit more of a squeeze than right up at the front. But before we could go anywhere, the moment of truth. Both engines, first time, just like that. Jeff had clearly had a word. The flight back to Samoa was everything the outbound journey wasn't. Smooth, uneventful, gloriously, beautifully boring. 30 minutes over the Pacific, back across the date line, arriving tomorrow. Somewhere down there, almost 50 years ago, Jay Prochnow had flown over this same stretch of ocean, lost, alone, running out of fuel. Today I had a rattly ceiling panel and a cheeseburger from the Equator bar inside me, different problems entirely. We'd left on Monday, somehow we were landing on Tuesday, 30 minutes in the air and we'd lost an entire day. The Pacific Ocean plays by its own rules. Thank you. Alright, welcome back to Appian, Western Samoa. And it's Tuesday now. It's Tuesday, isn't it? But we've made it through 3 days without ever really having to see a Monday. I guess we kind of did this morning. But we survived the Rockwell Commander, we survived the Pacific Ocean, and we survived, of course, American Samoa and Pango Pango, which was just amazing. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. I'm off to get my next flight. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye for now.